What's up, everybody? We're back. Welcome to Thoughts Count Anywhere, live from the WWDBTV studios right here in Las Vegas.
And the WrestleMania hangover is still kicking.
It's still kicking.
Holy shit.
It was the longest week of my life.
It was the best of times. It was a hell of a week, man. It really was. I'm glad I'm going to be 100% right now. I'm glad it's over, but it was a hell of a week.
I'm glad it's over, but I'm glad it happened.
Yeah, absolutely. Great time, great memories. Yeah, but I bet it didn't last as long as Mania Week did, though.
Not according to Ric Flair.
I'm surprised Ric Flair made it out of Vegas alive. I'm going to be completely honest. Between his signings at WrestleCon, the pool party, and dispensary events, I'm surprised Rick made it out of Vegas alive. But it's good to see you. Good job, Rick.
Yeah, definitely. It was a lot of cool stories, a lot of catching up with friends.
Yeah. A lot of walking, a lot of standing.
A lot of standing in lines.
Yeah, there was a lot of that.
Hearing about everything from reuniting with friends to fist fights with others.
I can't believe I missed that.
I freaking wish
I'm disappointed that I missed that.
I wish I would have went to the airport literally just for that.
Yeah, that would have been it. It must have happened after I saw him. So.
Probably.
Always drama in the wrestling community. I swear to God.
Always. It's not even in the locker room. It's in the stands sometimes.
Yeah. Or the airport in this case.
Let's get into some rumors as we get into this whole WrestleMania thing. Rumor is Alexa Bliss will return on TV and will be the leader of the Wyatt Six.
I'm surprised it took them this long to do it. You know, given how big Alexa's return was, I would have thought they'd have pulled the trigger on this before WrestleMania.
Yeah, me too.
Because we get to Elimination Chamber and then it just dies out. She's nowhere to be seen. There's nothing following up on it. There's nothing that followed it after Elimination Chamber.
I was hoping they were going to do something at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
Have like a big grand, like.
With all of the time that they blocked off for WrestleMania, you'd think they could have fit a 5-minute segment in there somewhere.
Yeah.
And it just didn't happen.
No. Rumor is Karrion Kross is going to get more TV time, especially after his explosive promo that he put online.
Well, I mean, we heard his contract, and he referenced it in the that promo about how his contract was leaked. With his contract coming up, you know they're under the gun to do something with it, and it sounds like we finally might get to see him do something really productive. I'm looking forward to it, man. Bloodsport, the guy was fucking incredible.
Nice. He's a great talent, good on the mic. He has everything WWE wants. They just have to pull the trigger on him.
Yeah, it's one of those things, like, we blamed Vince McMahon for how bad the first run was.
Yeah.
But outside of moments here and there since he returned, we haven't seen it.
Yeah.
You know, hopefully this is the lead into something really special for a great talent.
I hope so. In WWE news, probably like the biggest news outside of something not WrestleMania related.
Honestly, the announcement was made Saturday before WrestleMania kicked off that WWE has acquired AAA Mexico. That's big news. That really shrinks the expansion of Mexico promotions, you know, because now AAA is under the WWE umbrella. Obviously, questions are all over the place of who's going to run it, who's going to be booking it. Are the talent going to have to start learning to work the American style of pro wrestling? AAA's champion is someone who's not in good graces with WWE. So what's that going to do? Is Conan going to continue to be running creative for AAA? There are a million questions, and we've received zero answers. I assume we'll probably start to hear something pretty soon because we're going to be seeing Worlds Collide the first week of June in LA. So I assume we're going to start to get some answers, but there are a ton of questions right now that leave a lot to be answered.
I did read somewhere that Del Rio got released already.
Whether it was by his request or which I doubt it is, because he's wanted to go back. I wouldn't be entirely surprised.
That and like during the whole like press conference thing they had like Saturday, The one person that was missing, though, you're like, what the hell was Conan?
Yeah, he was missing. That press conference was really weird.
Yeah.
Just because Stephanie Vaquer was there. Stephanie obviously doesn't have a whole lineage in AAA. She spent most of her time in Mexico working for CMLL. And Andrade is another one who spent the bulk of his career in Mexico working for CMLL. Both of them looked uneasy.
They went backstage and were like, grab all the Latinos.
Yeah. Yeah, that's exactly what WWE did. They bussed them from the hotel to Allegiant Stadium and said, hey, we've got a big announcement. We need you here for it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was watching it, and it wasn't one of those things that I caught the first time watching it during the pre-show, but watching it back, there was something there. Like Andrade seemed uneasy about it. Stephanie seemed uneasy because they were the enemy of who WWE just acquired. I'm sure they'll work out in the system regardless. I guarantee you Andrade is thanking God that WWE purchased AAA because now he's got somewhere else. You don't have anything for me on Raw or SmackDown? Send me to Mexico. Let me go work there.
Definitely.
So
that'll give people a lot of possibilities.
I'm conflicted about this. Anytime you get these major acquisitions and takeovers, I'm always nervous about it in the wrestling business.
There's a lot that could go wrong, but there's a lot that could go right.
Look what happened the last time these acquisitions started happening in the wrestling business. Sure. ECW went away, WCW went away, and for a long time, WWE stagnated after the initial buzz of, hey, we've got all these new talent that we acquired. I'm not going to be doom and gloom on this, but it's, we're going to see some interesting stuff over the next couple of years because of stuff like this.
The meme made me laugh. There's like a meme of Vikingo, and it was like he no longer has to risk his life in front of 500 fans.
Yeah. He still probably will, though.
Oh, yeah, 1,000%. As successful as WrestleMania week was in Vegas, in my head, and I was like, they're going to be back here for like 10 plus years.
Nah, as successful as it was and with the prices that they could charge, it's already broken that WWE and the city of Las Vegas are looking to bring WrestleMania back within the next 3 to 5 years, which is good because in 3 to 5 years, it'll give you a chance to save up money to actually afford reasonable seats.
I know some people right now that should start saving. Yeah. Right this second.
Jason.
Oh, yeah. 1,000%.
Yep.
Did you see The Rock's interview on Pat McAfee?
I saw clips of it. I'm not a huge McAfee fan. I'm also not a huge Rock fan either, so I didn't go out of my way to watch it. I will say there's a disconnect between Triple H and The Rock.
Oh,
like they talk about it. They talk about how well they get along with one another when they go and do interviews.
They don't.
Triple H says one thing on podcast appearances about how, the John Cena thing was something that we had cooking for a while. Rock then goes on McAfee and says, yeah, we kind of pulled this together at the last minute because ticket sales were slow. Rock also says, well, creatively, I would have finessed this and changed that and shit like that. And he's really making Triple H look bad when he goes and says stuff like that.
Yeah, definitely.
Because then it's on Triple H to, Rock says do this. Triple H then has to write a story that corresponds with this.
Yeah.
But he's missing key parts, like The Rock showing up.
Yeah.
We should have titled this episode Rock Ruins WrestleMania. Because everybody, I don't care what company it is, you always fall back to the final moment, the final match, the main event, the last thing that you see.
Yep.
The expectation that The Rock was going to be involved and how monumentous this heel turn by John Cena could have been, and how honestly, and John is giving it his all. I fully believe that. I think he's playing heel. I don't think he's, just the story of, I blame you, this is why I did this kind of thing.
Yeah.
This seems like he's coping with the idea of being a heel, but he doesn't want to be a heel.
True.
And we don't have The Rock as a driving force behind him being a heel.
Yeah.
I think Rock hurt creative with what they put together, and Rock's condescending fucking remarks that he made to Dave LaGreca earlier this week, which I didn't hear. I thank you for playing it back before we went on live. It's condescending as shit. Dave LaGreca knows that the wrestling business is work. A lot of wrestling fans know that wrestling is work, and for Rock to be as patronizing and condescending as he was in his response is just so fucking embarrassing. It's like, take this and shut your mouth, is really what Rock said.
Yeah, it's like, we know it's a work, but being as fans, we want to get lost in it. We want to like get involved with the characters, and
especially when you're charging 30 fucking grand for ringside seats
to
these shows.
That'd be like watching an Avengers movie and it cuts off and be like, Robert Downey Jr. is like, I'm not Iron Man.
Yeah.
I'm really Robert Downey Jr.
Yeah.
Back to the movie.
Like, it's so fucking stupid. And that's the kind of shit that Rock, if you want to be a board member for TKO, by all means, be a board member, but shut the fuck up. Facts. Like, you don't need to go on to Pat McAfee and talk about the creative that you weren't involved with, that you said, well, it really didn't need it. Well, it did, because the audience completely shit all over what you did, over what you didn't do.
If The Rock didn't get involved, they were going to save that moment for WrestleMania.
Yeah, and they should have, which means we would have gotten Cody as a face, Cena as a face going into WrestleMania, and then the heel turn. That would have fucking worked.
That would have been crazy.
That would have fucking worked, and we wouldn't have got these little these I'm blaming you promos from Cena.
Yeah.
We wouldn't have gotten these bullshit my back is against the wall promos from Cody when his back was never against the wall. He got his ass beat at Elimination Chamber and he left Cena laying twice. We could have gotten a good face versus face. I respect you. This is a moment. This is a generational moment of passing the torch.
Yeah.
And Cody saying, no, I'm going to take the torch. You're not handing it to me. And then we could have seen the heel turn, and it would have been a massive fucking finish to WrestleMania. But because Rock needed his fucking ego stroked some more by Ari Emanuel telling him that, well, we need your help to sell tickets, Rock jumped on the opportunity and said, let's hotshot this.
Yeah.
That's so fucking amateur. And then to tell people who are invested in the product to sit down, shut up, and enjoy what we're giving you is fucking disrespectful. And The Rock can go fuck himself.
Even more like into the backstage of WWE. Did you see the trailer for that new Netflix series?
I did, and I hate it.
I can't
hate it. I won't watch it. I will not watch it. Like, we know that it's a work. If this whole bullshit with The Rock was just an effort to promote that show, it's going to do the opposite. I don't want to see bullshit scenarios. There's a reason I don't watch Logan Paul's bullshit. I don't want to see these. There's a reason I watch LFG, but I'm not fully sunken and invested into it because I know half of the dramatic bullshit is just for the cameras.
Oh,
you think it's going to be any different with this new show that's going to be on Netflix where they're showing you they're taking you into the writer's room? They're going to make bullshit up and stuff like that.
True.
It's going to be so manufactured, it's not going to look authentic.
Very true.
And they're not going to address when shit like this, when WrestleMania is over and most of the crowd is saying, bro, that was fucking garbage. That finish sucked. They're not going to address it as that. They're going to address that as, oh man, look at all the social media chatter. They're not going to talk about the content of the social media chatter regarding the subject. They're just going to say, well, we're number one trending, but not why it's number one trending. And the fact that people shit all over Sunday's main event.
I was waiting so hard for The Rock after like Travis Scott came out.
Yeah.
Speaking of, if you're gonna come out and interfere in a match, don't have like a 5-minute entrance.
Yeah, don't take a fucking snail's pace. At that point, if I'm Cody Rhodes and I know this little dipshit is walking with a snail's pace to the ring, I'm waiting for the referee to turn his back. I'm low blowing Cena, hit my finisher 1, 2, 3. I'm not gonna stand there and stop and look at him in awe.
Yeah.
Like the finish to that match was so fucking poorly booked. All they really would have had to do was you could have put Brandy in the front row. Travis is coming down the ring with his little fucking snail's pace ass. Brandy charges up the ramp and gets in his face, smacks the shit out of him in revenge for Travis smacking the shit out of Cody.
Yeah.
Travis grabs a hold of Brandy, And Cody is now distracted because his wife is in danger, and then Cena pulls his shit. Low blow. F you. 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
That's your finish. Instead of that dog shit that we got in the match. Like the idea of Cody or of Brandy and Travis Scott facing off isn't mind blowing. It's not a groundbreaking finish by any means, but it's better than what we got.
True. It was like the main event matches, or the matches for night 1 were decent, but the main event was much better than
100%.
night 2. And then the matches for night 2 were better than night 1.
Yep.
But the main event
and the main event let
terrible.
the air out of the venue. They did. And I don't know how you feel, but I think the women's triple threat was the best match of the weekend by WWE.
I would have said the fatal 4-way for the Intercontinental title was my favorite.
Okay.
And the triple threat was like second.
Okay. Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, the fatal 4-way was awesome. It was fun.
That thing had like something for everybody.
It really did. It was a fun match. So I can see that one too.
That place went nuts when freaking Dominic won.
It did. Yeah, they did.
It was great. I want to be in the creative room when they were like, oh, shit, we got to turn Dominic face, and we have no choice about this either.
Yeah, the crowd's doing it for you.
So I kind of thought they were going to put like a kibosh to it immediately, because when they put Penta versus Dominic on Raw, and I was like,
yeah, there's your title change.
Choose. Like,
yeah, they are.
Calm down. Give Dominic his moment.
Yeah. And they did. So good on them.
Yeah. Speaking of Monday Night Raw, I've heard a lot of people say this was the best Monday Night Raw after WrestleMania in a long time.
It's been a pretty low bar for the last, I'd say, 3 or 4 years.
Yeah, like nothing's happened before.
I mean, the only thing last year was the Rock and Cody face-off, which led to fucking nowhere. It led to nowhere.
Let me touch your belt.
Yeah.
No,
yeah.
let me touch your belt.
Yeah, it's so fucking stupid. And then putting something in his hand, you know what that is, kind of bullshit. There was nothing special on that one. Outside of a debut, there was nothing special on the one from LA. So yeah, I can see that. The action was really good on Monday night.
Yeah, it was a heel turn, Rusev returned.
Yeah. I thought that would have happened sooner, but yeah.
I was kind of hoping it was going to be Alistair on Raw
and Rusev on SmackDown.
But
not
actually
happening.
Got the Alistair return last night.
Yeah, full with his the entrance from the levitating door, not levitating, but the way he shows up on screen, to the music and everything like that, he kept it all, which is good.
Definitely, I loved his theme music.
Yeah.
I was like, I wonder if they're really going to change it.
It hits. Fortunately, they were smart enough to stay away from the Def Rebel version of Aleister Black's music.
Oh, my. I'd have freaking lost it. But it was a good day for that household.
It certainly was.
His wife also won the United States Championship.
Yeah, Zelina gets her first WWE title, and Aleister returns to WWE.
It was a good day. Also, Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez regained the tag team championships.
Lost the titles, regained the titles, all within a 24-hour period.
I figured someone was gonna like win and then lose, like win a belt and then lose it the next night.
Yeah.
But I honestly thought it was gonna be Jey Uso.
Yeah, I thought Jey Uso would be the one. Not, I didn't expect it to be the women's tag titles. I've got opinions on the way they did Bayley. And I'm not a huge Bayley fan, but that was dog shit. It really was. It was just absolute dog shit.
That's crazy. Like she did an interview like before like
with
this
Van
came
Vliet.
out.
Yeah, it had to have been done Friday because it would have been Thursday because I went to Big Time Wrestling and Bayley was there.
Oh.
She was wearing the same thing she was wearing in the Chris Van Vliet interview.
Oh.
So it had to have been done that day.
Yeah.
But yeah, and now seeing clips of it, you could see she was really bothered by it. She wouldn't let you know because, after the show, got to meet her, got a photo with her. But she was typical Bayley, smiling, happy to be there kind of thing. But now knowing she knew Thursday what was going to happen, and it was taking a toll on her. Man, she's a champ. I'm going to tip my hat to her. I'm not wearing one, but I'm going to tip my hat to Bayley because she dealt with what she dealt with in I would assume like a 24 to 48 hour period. and to be as cool as she was both at Worlds, from what I've heard, and when I ran into her randomly at an independent show.
Yeah.
You never would have known. So for her to get done like that was some bullshit.
Yeah, they got some making up to do to Bailey.
Yeah. That's another one. I think there's some underlying shit there. Someone made the call that we're going to put Becky in that spot. And I don't think it was Triple H. I think that was a Rock and Ari Emanuel call. And there's probably some people that are pissed off backstage about it.
Definitely. Even like Mercedes Moné was
even she
at her to be like, you need to get out of there.
Yeah. Well, I mean, she's got a year and a half on her deal. Mercedes' deal with AEW, I assume, will be up around that same time. So she'll go to the bank of Tony Khan and say, hey, why just me when you can get us both, kind of thing. I hope they remedy this situation with Bailey, because to watch her frustration with that, for her to sit down and be so candid about it the week of WrestleMania, because normally those interviews done on WrestleMania week, it's all a bunch of gloating and bullshit.
Yeah. For
her to get down and level with everyone, that was like, that's like getting to the Super Bowl and then the day before the coach benching you. Never mind the fact that you helped carry the load through the playoffs to get to the Super Bowl. And the coach says, yeah, no, we're going to take a free agent and we're going to bench you and you're not going to play. It's dog shit.
That's insane. Especially to put it that way. That's just.
Yeah. I mean, and that's really the only way to look at it.
Even Van Vliet had no idea. And he was like, oh, last year how you even pointed at the sign and then this. And now WrestleMania this year. And she's like, oh, this comes out Friday?
Yeah.
Oh, you're about to learn some stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
Should we get into breaking down WrestleMania?
Sure. Shouldn't take us too long.
Nah. Night one. Jey Uso defeated Gunther for the World Heavyweight Championship.
We predicted that if it went on first, regardless of what night it was going to happen. I have a problem with the way the finish went down. Gunther never should have tapped.
No, he should have went unconscious, if anything.
He should have gone unconscious, or they should have had Jimmy hit Uso or hit Gunther with the title.
Yeah.
Turns him around into a super kick, splash off the top, 1, 2, 3, pin him that way.
Yeah.
The tap out finish was fucking horrible.
I didn't like that.
I don't know who made that call.
Especially as fast as he tapped out.
Yeah,
too.
Exactly. It was like he barely had the choke in and he's tapping out to it. You've got to be kidding me. Jey Uso lasted longer in the fucking choke when Gunther had it.
Yeah.
I don't know who made that call. I kind of wonder if that wasn't if you smell what I'm cooking kind of thing, if that wasn't a call by him. And maybe not. Maybe I'm just in a fuck Rock mood this afternoon, given how patronizing I think he was and what a prick I think he was in his responses to everything. But I don't like the way that finish worked out. There was no reason for Gunther to tap out that quick.
I don't think so either. I'm glad Jey won, but he should have won in a different way.
Yeah, Jey. After last week, Jey Uso's kind of. But whatever. That's another story for another time.
Wait. I have a question.
Sure.
Who has not pissed you off this week?
There's a lot of people that haven't pissed me off, but people with The Rock.
I didn't.
Yeah. A lot of them are tied to The Rock. I will say that. We also, in true Vegas fashion, the War Raiders, the Raiders lost at Allegiant Stadium when the New Day captured another World Tag Team Championship. I think this takes them to 12 or 13 overall as the New Day.
I feel freaking gypped.
Did you?
We got this stupid ass match, the New Day versus the War Raiders, that zero people were interested in. During the whole WrestleMania, any kind of spot happened, everybody in front of me stood up.
Yep.
The ending to the New Day versus War Raiders match, everyone was like, oh, the bell rung, what?
Yeah. Yep.
And then to see the TLC match from last night.
Yeah.
To realize that could have been at WrestleMania.
It's almost like that should have been at WrestleMania.
But we got that dog shit match.
You know what? I wouldn't say it was dog shit.
Compared
I will
to the
say
TLC match was dog shit.
Well, I will say the dog shit match is the one that we're going to talk about next. But I thought the New Day and the War Raiders had fucking phenomenal chemistry. Like their stuff looked so fucking good.
Yeah.
For being a tag team match that the crowd was kind of just nominally interested in, those guys went out there like they were trying to fucking blow the whole roof off the building. Like the action was tight. There wasn't really a lull in the match itself. It just kind of came out. The finish came out of nowhere.
Yeah, the finish definitely came out of nowhere.
I think everybody expected Big E to somehow be involved in it.
Yeah, I was kind of expecting that too.
Yeah, I think that's what everyone expected. And when they didn't see it, it was just kind of like, oh, it's over already.
Yeah. I wish we would have got that TLC match though.
Yeah, we could have had TLC, the TLC triple threat match, and instead we got Jade Cargill and fucking Naomi.
Yep.
Talk about a piss break match. And I like Jade, and I'm indifferent when it comes to Naomi. At least she's got something character-wise now that she's turned heel. But that match was not WrestleMania quality. It wasn't. That is a match that you save for the night before, the SmackDown before, the Raw after kind of thing. That was not a WrestleMania quality match. It just wasn't. Like it's better than anything Jade Cargill has done in a singles match, but that's not saying that much.
It's kind of most of the night one. Me and Ryan, I went to WrestleMania with Ryan, and even like 3/4 of the way into night one, he was like, am I tripping or does this feel like a Monday Night Raw?
Yeah, it really did.
The quality of matches, he's like, this don't feel like WrestleMania.
Yeah, night one certainly didn't bring match quality.
Then we had Jacob Fatu defeat LA Knight for the United States title.
The writing was on the wall that Fatu was winning that one, and rightfully fucking so. The guy is a total dickhead, like the rest of that family. But you can't deny just how fucking entertaining he is.
Oh, definitely. That guy's gold in the ring.
And while we're on this one, because I think this is a prime example of it, did any of the WrestleMania entrances feel like WrestleMania entrances this year?
No.
Like LA Knight coming up on a Porsche. So fucking what? Like that one in Jacob Fatu's goofy looking fucking Fortnite mask. None of the entrance stuff this year felt like WrestleMania. It's like, this is the most successful WrestleMania in history, but we're going to spend this goddamn much on production and making it feel like a WrestleMania.
The most they spent on an entrance was making a Barbie box.
Yeah. Yep. Well, you know what? I would counter that and say the most that they spent on an entrance was Stone Cold. Because you know that the lady at the
that
barricade,
girl flopped harder than fucking LeBron
she
James.
She did. That looked, but they're gonna fucking hold it up. She's gonna get fucking paid for that one, bro.
No, I don't think so.
She will.
Them lawyers are gonna be like,
it was funny as shit.
Everybody around her didn't move.
It was funny as shit because one lady's just standing there and she looks at the cameras like, "Are you fucking serious?" But yeah, I mean, I think they'll end up paying out on that, whether it's comps tickets or something.
I hope not.
They're gonna do something, unfortunately, because that. I mean, Stone Cold drunk. That dude had the most white trash Sunday of anybody in white trash history. Guy comes out drunk as shit, wrecks his four-wheeler, and then goes and starts drinking more in the ring. That's the most white trash shit ever. The only thing that he's missing would have been like a domestic abuse charge, but I'm not going to joke about that. But holy shit, talk about a white trash Sunday.
Did you see the video of him like first coming out where he missed the stage?
He misses the stage. Doesn't think to stop until he hits the fucking stage. And then he has to back it up slowly. It gets stuck under the fucking stage. The stagehands have to pull the fucking ATV off to the side so he can finish backing it up and taking it up the stage.
Oh my god!
Who thought having Stone Cold ride out on a goddamn ATV
was going to turn into an ordeal?
While because he'd been drinking. Like he'd been drinking before he went out there. And
they had his beer at WWE World. Do you think he was drinking most of it?
Yeah, oh man, what a fucking mess.
So we met Stone Cold at WWE World. It was freaking cool as hell. But freaking, we were all hoping he was going to come out at like WrestleMania.
Yeah.
And I was in there talking to Ryan and the glass broke. It took me like a second to process what was going on.
Well, and that whole second that you were processing it, nobody saw him because he was stuck with his fucking ATV under the stage.
I lost my shit. We're all like screaming. And I'm kind of looking over. I was like, what the fuck is he? Like 30 seconds later, he pops up. I was like,
Oh,
took a long
yeah,
ass
that
time,
did.
but all right.
He's usually, as soon as the glass breaks, he's usually walking out.
Yeah, he has that ATV like ready.
Yep.
El Grande Americano defeated Ray Phoenix.
Yeah. Friday night, apparently Ray tore his groin. I don't know if that's a work or if it actually, but Ray tore his groin. They had to call an audible real quick, and they ended up with going with Ray Phoenix, which I'm going to give him credit because we talked about how bad of an idea debuting Ray Phoenix was prior to WrestleMania, and that it should have been saved because they wouldn't have anything. They managed to get him in a good spot. And God damn, if El Grande Americano doesn't have phenomenal chemistry with someone he's never worked with before. Because he really did, man. That match was fucking awesome.
It was kind of funny. Chad Gable did an interview.
Yeah.
And it was like, someone's like, what's your Starbucks order? He's like, a Grande Americano. And he was like, sometimes I like the order so much I have him write El Grande Americano on the cup. I was like, bro, you're such a troll.
He is. He's so great.
Before we talk about the women's match, we're going to take a quick break, pay some bills, try to recoup some of this WrestleMania money. We'll be right back.
We'll see you on the other side.
This is D'Lo Brown. If you want to be part of one of the greatest podcasts on the world, Thoughts Count Anywhere, every Saturday, 9 to 11 Pacific. Now recognize that.
Hey, everybody, Aaron Philson. I am standing with
Anthony Miller.
Hey, I have a quick question for you. What's the name of your favorite wrestling show?
Thoughts Count Anywhere.
What a convenience. Saturday, 9 to 11 a.m. Pacific. If this guy watches it, better watch it also on Facebook. This is your warlord of weird Sin Bodhi, and you are watching Thoughts Count Anywhere right here on Facebook, Saturday mornings, 9 a.m. till 11 a.m. Pacific Coast time. Stay tuned. Do I look like I'm clowning around? Buddy, I'm Aaron Phillips, and I am with the legend. And Sabu, you were telling me earlier about a special wrestling show that you really like, and that is what? Thoughts Count Anywhere. That's a coincidence. The same show that runs Saturdays, 9 to 11 a.m. Pacific, right here on Facebook. You better listen to the man to watch.
Aloha, this is April Hom, the Royal Hawaiian from Glow, and you're watching Thoughts Count Anywhere.
And we're back.
Here we go.
Oh, God.
The Buff Barbie, Tiffany Stratton, defeated Charlotte Flair.
I guess you
Thank God.
could call that match chippy time. The way that tooth looked, man. Like those two, they were letting some live rounds go. That was hard hitting. It wasn't the best match on the show, like I think it had the potential to be.
Yeah.
They didn't have good chemistry. You could tell there was a very definite rift between them, that they didn't want to go over anything too much before the match. Not only were the live rounds going through, but stuff didn't look as tight when they were trying to work.
True.
I think we're going to see that match again at some point, and I think it'll be a lot better.
Yeah.
Hopefully they got all their bullshit out from between them. But
I hope so.
I think everybody expected Charlotte to win, so Tiffany pulling out the surprise win was good.
It looked like her teeth were like all sorts of like messed up.
Yeah, it
And
looks
then
like maybe a whole fucking, the side of her upper lip was completely toast.
Yeah, like freaking, she posted a picture like a couple hours later and her teeth were fine. I was like,
They had an
Ow.
emergency dentist there.
that was like, did they pull up a dentist to Fontainebleau? Like,
Well,
for
I mean,
real?
a couple of years ago, they did a house show here, and Natty lost a tooth.
Yeah.
And that same night, she was good again too. So
Damn.
Natty's probably like, "Don't worry, I got you. Just call this guy." You know what I mean? It was probably something
True.
like that, because it certainly looked like if it wasn't chipped, that the entire tooth was completely turned.
Yeah,
That
looked
could have been it
gnarly.
as well, and that could have contributed to all the blood that was in her mouth. But
yeah.
she looks good now. She's all
Yeah.
straightened up.
True that. Seth Rollins defeated Roman Reigns and CM Punk in the main event of night
That
one.
one, without a doubt, the match of night one.
Oh, 1,000%.
One thing that I loved about the heel turn was when Paul low-blowed Roman, there was anger on his face. Whereas when it was Seth, it was more emotional. Like he didn't want to do it he didn't want to hit Punk. He wanted to hit Roman. So I think there's a lot of storytelling that's still to be done with those two. And then Monday night, we got another cool turn. I don't know that you'd call it. Well, I guess with facing off with Judgment Day, he was the face, but Braun turning heel and siding with Paul and Seth, man, Braun Breaker is about to become one of the smartest fucking workers the WWE's ever seen. To have someone like Seth Rollins and Paul Heyman working with him, man, that dude will be in the main event in the next 2 years.
Oh, 1,000%.
Without question, Braun Breaker will be WrestleMania main eventer in 2 years.
Yep. That's like a hell of a. You think they're gonna add like more people to that group? Make like the new like evolution?
A new evolution. That very well could happen.
Let's move on to night 2.
Yeah.
Io Sky defeated Bianca Belair and Rhea Ripley.
For WWE, that was my match of the night. Or match of the week, honestly. Like, that match was so good. Like, I was on my feet watching that one. Funny story, I was at Planet 13, the dispensary here, because Mike Tyson was doing an appearance, and it ran into the start of Mania. So I was watching it on my phone, like on my feet the whole fucking time through that match. Like, popping over that shit. Like, it got to a point where I had people that weren't wrestling fans that were like, oh shit, watching it and like, yo, that was fucking awesome and shit like that. Of course, they were high as shit, so it probably added to it. But man, that was the match of the night, with match of the week, in my opinion, without question. Those 3 women fucking brought it.
I fully expected Io Sky to retain.
Yep.
That was a cool moment.
Yep, it was.
Drew McIntyre defeated Damian Priest in the Sin City Street Fight.
Those 2 got at it, man. They did. And I mean, Damian got the dope fucking entrance. Damian got the best entrance out of everyone all WrestleMania weekend.
Yeah.
With Slayer played him out.
Yeah.
But those 2 got at it, man. It was hard hitting. Fortunately, based off of last night at SmackDown, I don't think they're done. So we're going to see more of that hard hitting stuff between Priest and McIntyre.
That was definitely a really good match. Neck Claymore to the steel chair. I was ooh.
Man, holy shit.
Dominic Mysterio defeated Finn Balor, Penta, and Braun Breaker to win the Intercontinental Championship.
Yeah. I think we broke it down as well. We figured Dom would win and it would start the fracturing of Judgment Day. The match certainly told that story. It's going to be interesting to see, but all 4 men left it out there. They went at it. Poor Carlito, though. Another fucking spear from Braun.
Between tables. That looked painful. But I wonder what Dom's internally was like. So he went from being booed out of every building to Las Vegas is chanting.
Just embracing the shit out of him. Yeah. Certainly did.
And that place, that was probably one of the biggest pops of the night.
It was. Yeah, it definitely was.
Won the title.
It was. It was a great match.
Even when he was halfway down the ramp, the cameraman's go back to the ring and celebrate.
Yeah. Yeah, you got to get the good shot for it.
Heck yeah. And in the surprise of the weekend, Randy Orton had his open challenge.
I know we talked a lot about it leading into it, that we thought it might be Rusev, it might be Alistair. You could have even done Phoenix.
Yeah.
The predominant talk of the weekend at WrestleCon and the other independent shows was expected to be Joe Hendry.
Oh, wow.
There was a lot of people talking about that. So I don't think it was as big of a surprise as everyone thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
I didn't even consider it. You know what I mean? I didn't think that TNA would want to send their world champion to take an obvious pinfall.
Yeah.
But, good on him. It wasn't like he was buried.
Hmm.
It was a typical Joe Hendry match. He got his shit in and 1, 2, 3. That's all you needed to do.
Yeah.
But it was cool.
The pop for Joe Hendry. I was like, wow. I was literally looking around Allegiant and being like, hold on, with all these people singing his song, why is the attendance of this their weekly shows?
Yeah.
Thing. And I was like, TNA should be way fucking more popular.
Well, it's because it's a meme.
You
know what I mean? And I don't remember who. I think it might have been Miz saying it. He is. Joe Hendry is a meme at this point. He's not a great worker. He's serviceable. Joe Hendry's a great entertainer.
Yeah.
He's going to do extremely well in WWE when he eventually makes the full-time leap.
Yeah.
But he's not the guy that you go to for 5-star classics. He's extremely popular because of TikTok, because the soundbite of his entrance music. A lot like Jey Uso is. If you take away the entrance, how popular would he be?
And the Yeet, yeah.
Yeah,
That's what Ryan was talking about.
And
He was
I'm
like,
not shitting on anyone when I say this. This is like an analytic breakdown, and there's a space for it in pro wrestling. So
Yeah.
someone's got to fill it. I'm glad someone like Joe is filling it because
Even-
Joe's a great guy.
Even like talking over the weekend, Jason was saying how like great Jey Uso is and he's going to be champion. And Ryan was like, if you take away the yeet, he's just a mediocre tag team wrestler.
His promos aren't great. His matches, his singles matches aren't great. But the entrance and yeet fills a space to get
between the
people to
entrance and the
interact.
amount of merchandise he sells, they're just capitalizing.
Yeah,
on it.
I get it. I'm not even knocking anybody. I just think Jey Uso's kind of let all of this shit go to his head, and he's
But
kind of
Gunther is gonna kind of like murder him in the next fucking rematch.
yeah. Backlash may be he may kill him.
Kind of excited to watch that one. Logan Paul defeated AJ Styles.
Speaking of fucking douchebags who are at least they're entertaining, Logan Paul defeats AJ Styles.
That's like criminal.
Yeah, it really is. And like in my is the second that it was over was my response was, how do you know it's WrestleMania season? AJ Styles is getting fucked by creative.
Yep.
AJ outside of the Boneyard match, I guess you could make an argument for the Shane McMahon street fight, but AJ's resume at WrestleMania is abysmal, and it's no fault of it. It's no fault of his own.
True.
WWE just doesn't see fit to give him a WrestleMania moment, and that sucks.
If anybody deserves a WrestleMania moment, it's freaking AJ Styles.
It's a guy that next year will hit his 10th WrestleMania.
That's crazy.
Yep.
I can't believe he's been in WWE that long.
I know. It's crazy. He's getting, he says he's retiring by the age of 50. So next year presumably will be his last WrestleMania. He'll have 10 years there versus 12 years in TNA. Like that's a fucking crazy stat line right there.
That's nuts. Becky Lynch, who returned, and Lyra Valkyria defeated Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez for the tag titles.
Yeah. They needed a title change that they could get off someone real quick. We all thought it would be Jey Uso. Instead, it was this one. So yeah, good on Liv and Raquel for finishing the week out and getting another title.
Them girls put in some work over the week.
Over a 3-day period, 3 matches.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Lost the titles, won the titles, defended the titles.
That's crazy.
It's great. That's awesome.
Freaking, you were at the NXT show, right?
Yes.
The crowd was like half dead by the end of like
It really were.
Tuesday.
Well, in the crowd Tuesday was Vegas because most of the people that came into town had already gone home.
True.
So it reflects negatively on Vegas as a wrestling city. But granted, it's at the end of a fucking week where from Thursday all the way till Tuesday, we were there at shows every single day.
Yeah.
But man, that's another one. Liv and Raquel fucking championed through the week.
Yep. I was reading earlier that WWE even realized like the taxing it put on the talent, the fans, and they're going to look into WrestleMania 42 and adjust the week of maybe they won't go all the way from like SmackDown to like the next Tuesday for NXT.
No, I fully expect them to do that. I think that they probably space out shit like the Hall of Fame. They'll probably put it on Thursday or Wednesday, and instead of SmackDown and Hall of Fame, Stand and Deliver and WrestleMania, WrestleMania and the roast of WrestleMania. I think they'll probably split those days a little more.
I think after like the leaked footage from that roast of WrestleMania,
they ain't doing another roast.
I don't think they're doing that again.
Nah, they ain't doing that. Like Fluffy sold the shit out of it that he was legitimately pissed.
I watched like
at the shit Paul Heyman said.
I watched like a couple minutes of like the leaked footage. I am so mad at myself. I did not go to that.
Yeah. I kind of wish I'd gone to that one too.
Damn.
Yeah.
That looked hilarious.
Yeah. And people complained about it. I listened to the audio, the whole thing. I thought it was funny. Some of the jokes, some of the comedians, you could tell they weren't wrestling fans. David Lucas, like his roast was really weak. I watch Kill Tony every week, and he's usually a lot stronger than that.
Fun.
I don't think he's familiar enough with wrestling. He just found a target and stuck on it.
Yeah.
And I don't think he was that funny about it. But the rest of them I thought were really funny.
Stand and Deliver. Obafemi defeated Trick Williams. Oh, that's wrong. I knows it.
Yeah, Trick Williams and Javon Evans.
Javon Evans.
I'm going to be honest. I thought Oba was probably going to lose, and we would lose Oba and Trick to the main roster. I still think we're going to lose Trick to the main roster sooner than later. But Oba and Javon will continue to carry NXT for a while.
Hank and Tank defeated Fraxium for the tag title.
Yeah, that one brought a hell of a run with Fraxium to an end. And that was a really great story because they showed Hank and Tank struggling. They weren't winning matches, but they're getting pep talks from Street Profits, from Booker T, from the Dudleys. And it's like building their confidence. And then they fucking win. They start winning matches. Great story leading into it. Great guys. I had the chance to run into them over the weekend, and they were so cool.
Oh, cool.
And this was after Stand and Deliver, so they'd already won the titles. They could have been like in celebratory mode, like, fuck you. And they took the time for everybody. They were cool as shit. Cool as shit.
It's kind of crazy. Like, Fraxium loses the tag titles, and they immediately go to SmackDown.
Yeah. I would have, and this is just me throwing it out there, I would have, in that TLC match, have all three tag teams in there, and then Nick Aldis comes out and says, you know what? Given that we're wrapping up WrestleMania week, I figured I'd just give you one more spectacle and then send Fraxium into the ring. I wouldn't have done the match earlier in the show. I would have sent him to the ring on that one.
Yeah.
That's how I would have booked their elevation to the main roster.
That would have been crazy. Sol Ruka wins the Women's North American Championship in a crazy ladder match.
It was kind of a scary spot there at one point. Lola looking a little rattled. But yeah, Sol is another great one. She's a great representative for NXT. So cool. Had a really good run at NXT this week between them being at Fountain Blue and being around town. But yeah, every single one of them were cool as could be.
Nice. The Fatal 4-Way Tag Team match, Gigi Dolan and Tatum Paxley defeated Fatal Influence, Roxanne Perez and Cora Jade, and the Meta Girls.
Yeah, they did. We love Gigi Dolan, that's for sure. Gigi and Tatum definitely held it down. We saw what we didn't really follow up on, though, was Roxanne walking out on Cora.
Yeah.
We didn't get any follow-up on that on Tuesday. So I assume we'll probably see it before Roxanne permanently moves to the main roster.
I don't know. Still don't know why they're like teasing her to the main roster, and then we're like, never mind, go back to NXT.
Yeah.
Go to the main roster, do something cool. Never mind, go back to NXT.
Yep. And I mean, she had a hell of a week too between Stand and Deliver there on Raw, and then on Tuesday night against Stephanie in an awesome match.
Yeah, definitely. So Stephanie Vacour, she also went to Raw, went against Io Sky, and then had to defend her title.
That's
against
another one
Roxanne.
that had a hell of a 3-day, three match stretch, man.
Yeah.
And couldn't have been nicer when it was all over with.
Yeah.
You know, because after the show, Matt and I and a few others hit over to say sayonara to the NXT roster as they returned home after the show, and we were fortunate. And Stephanie was a true champion. She was the last person I think that we saw anyways. Yep. And she did. She took photos, signed autographs for everybody in a spot where she could have said, "Hey, I've had a long week. Thank you guys for coming out."
Yep.
And she was a true champion. She was a phenomenal representative for the company.
In the NXT North American Championship, Ricky Saints defeated Ethan Page.
Boo. Fuck you, Ricky. Fuck you. I don't know. It was a good match. It wasn't a great match by any stretch, but it was a pretty good match between the two. I would have preferred Ego to win, but I think Ego is probably main roster bound very soon.
Oh yeah. Speaking of like WrestleMania week, everybody knows we go out and get like autographs.
Yep.
Deal with talent and stuff. What was like your favorite interactions with people like over the weekend?
I'm gonna say it was Julia. We happened to find out what hotel they were staying at Friday afternoon. We were grabbing lunch and saw one of the NXT talent walk by us. It's like, I checked in with somebody that spent a lot of time over at Fountain Blue getting autographs. He said, dude, I haven't seen NXT all weekend or all week. Really? So I took a walk around the Aria, and sure enough, like they're just popping up out of every fucking corner.
Oh, wow.
But it was Julia, without a doubt. I had some Japanese some of her Stardom stuff.
Yeah.
And everyone else, there were a couple of other autographers, most of the dealer types that get stuff signed to sell. I don't do that too often, but I had some Stardom stuff. I had some of her Stardom trading cards. She had a couple of magazine covers in Japan, and I had that stuff that I had ordered when she was still working with Stardom.
Yeah.
They did a show here in 2023 in the fall, and I wanted to get that stuff signed then.
Yeah.
Didn't get it signed then, but when she saw that I had it here, she was like, she lit up. Rossi Ogawa, who was the kind of the head of Stardom until some stuff with Stardom and New Japan broke down because of Julia going to WWE. But Rossi was there and Julia were there, and she lit up when she saw that I had Stardom stuff. She signed every bit of it. When we got a photo, she took the magazines and held them up in the photo and everything. And she was so cool. Like, just, we were actually talking about New Japan because the news had just broke that Naito and Bushi are leaving New Japan next month. Yeah. So we were talking about all of that, and it was a legitimate, and her English is phenomenal.
Yeah.
She could carry promos if she needs to today, because she was able to interact and talk about all that stuff. Yeah. But without a doubt, it was Julia.
Nice. I'd say mine was at WrestleCon talking to Tony Storm.
Yes, Tony was another great one.
That was cool.
She was awesome, man.
Do you know what I'm really disappointed in WrestleMania in? John Cena did like this meet and greet at WWE World.
Mm-hmm.
He either should have turned his back to every fucking fan and
or mean mugged the shit out of him,
or just mean mugged him. He was smiling and all this stuff and all these pictures,
and he had the title with him. Like, that's one that, you know, when he was champion before doing Comic-Con appearances, he didn't bring the title with him.
Yeah,
he probably won't with the ones coming up in Dallas and Philadelphia.
Yeah.
Man, I wish I had been able to get one of those photo op tickets. Because, man, to get John Cena the day after he won 17 and he's wearing the title would have been fucking crazy.
That would have been cool. But I'd have got on that stage and been like, you have to meet. I need the Elimination Chamber face, or we're not doing it.
Yeah. You got to stare me down like you're going to kill me.
Or just have them like, I'd be like, face the other way, but turn the belt like you had it on Raw.
Yeah. Yeah, that would have been
cool. I just want to see the belt. I just think this would be hilarious. I would pay $400 to troll myself.
Speaking of John Cena, did you see the video that went out on social media of him Sunday night walking into the hotel at Fountain Blue?
Oh, and he's getting bombarded by everybody?
People are just like swarming around him. You can tell. Like, that's ridiculous. That's the kind of shit that, listen, I'm going to fully admit I do airport graphing. I do hotel graphing. I was there when it happened. The second that someone said, John Cena's outside, I stepped as far back because I knew, number one, he's not going to do it. Number two, it's going to be a fucking madhouse. And it's going to result in security cracking down and kicking everybody out. And sure as shit, that's exactly what happened.
Yeah.
Watching that, I just act like you've fucking been there before. You know what I mean? Like, I know a lot of people that might have been there probably aren't graphers that do this on a regular basis, but it's like, he's a heel.
Yeah.
Nothing on his face is saying, yeah, come up and surround me and take photos and expect me to sign your shit and take photos with me while I'm standing here with my wife.
Yeah.
Like, read the room.
Even like when I was at Fountain Blue at one point, the Miz had like his two kids and his Maurice with him.
Yep.
And all these guys are like, oh my God, it's the Miz.
Yeah.
And I was like, guys, he has his family with him.
Yeah, he's got his kids back
and
off.
And the Miz kind of looked over and was like, thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, that's one of my number one rules when it comes to being out graphing is if someone is with their family, don't bother them. Yeah, especially if they have kids, don't bother them. But man, there's some people that don't have any etiquette when it comes to this, and it reflects negatively. Like when you hear Kevin Owens talk about it, or when you hear The Miz or some of these other guys, it's like they're not talking about the ones that are fucking use common sense. Yeah. They're talking about the idiots that will bombard them and start fucking filming the second they see them, regardless of the fact that they have their kids there with them.
Yeah.
the ones that will chase someone from one end of the fucking hotel to the other end of the fucking hotel, despite being told no multiple times. Those are the people that they're talking about when they talk about people doing this shit.
It was kind of funny. You saw like Kevin Owens and Randy Orton come in at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
And like half the people went for Kevin Owens, half the people went for Randy.
And neither of them stopped?
No, they both stopped.
Oh, wow.
Surprising.
That's a surprise.
And like Randy Orton was kind of by himself at one point. And I was like, hey, Randy, can I get a picture real quick? And he was like, yeah, sure. And this guy jumped in front of me. And I was
Randy
like,
is big on respect.
And then he took the picture with that guy. And then I was like, hey, Randy, can I get that picture? And he's like, no, man, I got to go. And I was like,
ouch.
I was like, really? And I was like, I was the one that asked you for a picture. And he's like, man, I'm here all week. And he gives me this speech.
Yeah.
And I was just like, bro, it's fine. I don't care.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah, that was one of those where like.
And I was like, Randy,
you should have
given me the speech for like 3 minutes. You could have took the picture 5 times.
You should have kicked the guy in the balls when he tried to jump in for the photo.
And the look on Randy Orton's face, and I was just like, dude, you could have took the picture 10 times by the time he told me all this.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he was like, I'll see you sometime during the week.
Well, and coming back to that, Sunday, there you go, Tiffy. Sunday night,
$1,200.
Sunday night at Fountain Blue. We ended up there after the show just to kind of catch who we could catch. There was a lot of activity with the roast and the after party. And Randy and his wife had come through. And you know how wrestling fans are, fucking sharks.
Oh yeah.
And that's exactly what it was. And you know, he's like, "Oh, I'm going out for a little while. Let me go out and I'll come back and, you know, we'll see if we can do this later on." Everybody was cool. Let him go. Comes back through, and of course, like sharks, bam, the second they see him. And Randy's wife kept going, babe, because Chris, my kid, was behind Randy trying to get him to sign. She goes, babe, there's a kid behind you. He turns to her and says, if I stop for him, I'm going to be stuck here for half an hour. And they kept walking. And it was like, at that point, we just like backed off. A bunch of others continued to follow him, but we backed off. It's like he had a point.
Once I hear the first,
it wouldn't have taken him
alone.
It wouldn't have taken him 30 minutes if he just snapped the quick photos, signed a few quick autographs. He'd have been out of there in less than 5 minutes. But I get it. But he's not wrong in that if I stop for one, I'm gonna be mobbed by the others.
Yeah, it's like if you stop for one, you gotta stop for all, basically.
Yeah. Yep. But any surprises for the weekend? People that you saw that you didn't expect?
No, not really.
No. I ended up getting George Kittle.
Oh, you did?
Yeah. He showed up for one. I'm assuming it was the after party. A buddy of mine had a photo of him wearing the "Fuck Dallas" t-shirt.
Yeah.
And he actually got George to write. And he asked him, he said, could you write "Fuck Dallas" on there? And he said, I won't write it. He said, but what if I write "F Dallas" on there?
Yeah.
And signed it, wrote it out, nice signature.
Nice.
Fuck, I wish I'd brought that photo.
Damn.
But yeah, he was cool as shit. I ended up getting a photo with him.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah. I was like, I wonder if Matt got him this weekend.
Nah, I almost went to Caesars to try to see if because he had like a party over there too.
Yep.
But I was like, damn, if I didn't know he was at Fountain Blue, I'd have never left that place.
I think Gronk was at the party, the after party, and I think that's why he went there.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, I mean, he was cool as shit.
Was that Saturday or Sunday?
It was Sunday night.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay. Damn, I should have went over there.
Yep.
Should we get? Oh, we got like 3 minutes.
Yeah,
left.
we got a few minutes.
TNA Rebellion is this Sunday. Joe Hendry versus Frankie Kazarian versus Ethan Page.
We getting a new champion. It's going to be Frankie.
I could see that.
Yep.
Knockouts Championship, Masa Slamovich versus Tessa Blanchard.
We're getting a new champion, Tessa.
1000%. I still don't understand the hate of Tessa Blanchard.
I don't either. Like, people sit and chant that she's a racist, but like I saw her multiple times hanging out, like joking, cordial with, you know, the other wrestlers, the black wrestlers, Japanese wrestlers, the Mexican wrestlers. Like, she's a terrible racist if she's racist.
There was a group of like around me that was like screaming she was racist.
Yeah.
And I was like, how's somebody racist if she dates Ricochet?
Yeah.
And married Daga?
Yeah. Yep. And there were, when at TNA, there were people chanting that too. And I said, you're all stupid.
So was I.
It's like, you're fucking stupid.
I was like,
you're
she's
ridiculous.
racist, but she's like fluent in Spanish.
Yeah, she's fluent in Spanish. It's so stupid.
NXT, the TNA Tag Team Championships, the Hardy Boys versus the Nemeth Brothers.
I think we get new champions there too, actually.
Then Moose versus Leon Slater versus Matt Cardona versus Vikingo
Casey
versus
Navarro.
Casey Navarro versus Sydney Akeem in an Ultimate X match.
I think Moose probably wins that one.
I see that.
Then we got the Knockouts Tag Team Champions, Ash and Heather by Elegance versus Spitfire, the Meta Girls, and Gigi Dolan and Tatum Paxley. I think this might be where we see an NXT tag team finally take a TNA championship. Actually, I think it'll probably be Gigi and Tatum just because they've been on the roll recently. You know, they lost Tuesday, obviously, but I think they'll probably win this one.
We'll get into the TNA Rebellion and results next week because we have like 15 seconds.
We are just about out of time. It's been a hell of a week, man.
I'm still recovering.
So am I. We'll see you on the next side.
We'll see you next week.